Okay, still here, still walking with Christopher. Right, if you record this video like this and the next one like that, people have the feeling something changed. Oh, it looks different now, right? So this is also my message to content creators. Don't break yourself creating content for people. It's not worth it to just chain yourself, you know. If, you know, let's talk about this. If you've got a spark of light in yourself and you know how to share it while, let's say, doing, playing computer games. You know, if you know how to share yourself playing computer games and people enjoy that, well, you may think, fuck, now I have to keep doing this for the rest of my life, you know. Hear me and be liberated. Or hear yourself. What else would you like to be? Because you want to take the people that follow you with you into the road. You want to open them up. Which means maybe you want to change what you're doing. But now it's going to be hard. But you've already got a routine. Let's say you already know how to create content and you're getting bored of it. You hate it. It's a drag. You just do it because there's nothing else for you, or so it seems. Well, just try. I mean, if you already have an income, even if you don't, you can do whatever you want, right? You could buy a camera. And then, or you just start with what you have. You take the equipment that you have. Okay, let's say your equipment isn't made for this. Okay, take your camera from your phone. You know, just go hiking, film yourself, get used to it, and then you could delete these things. Or you say, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. You know, I'm just gonna make a step, because I'm telling you, I would not do this without the camera. I have to have a purpose. And my purpose isn't finding food because I don't know what to eat. Everything's suspicious to me. Right? And so what do? No, I use what I have. To me, it's a drag to go hiking on my own. I need something to boost me, or someone. Well, let it be nature then. Let it be your own nature. Let it be yourself. Let it be the idea of your wife. And that's scary, my friend. That's scary. I only got a faint image of what a true, like a wife, like a Shakti, somebody that you will, you know, we're talking about spirituality here. Do you think I'm just hunting for a wife for, you know, because I think I have to? No. I want this because it's the biggest challenge I can think of, to reach these states of consciousness with someone else, to share them with someone else, because I know how to get there. And that's the struggle between the masculine and the feminine in a worldly dance or manifestation or whatever, right? That's it. You know, you trying to overtake her and she trying to overtake you, right? So as you grow spiritually, you know, if you meet someone, the woman of your dreams, and she's like super active, she seems like really powerful, and she goes hiking and all these kinds of things, and you really like her, or the image she creates, like the image, you know, this could be your idea of a wife. And then what you do about it, you go chase her, right? You don't know if it's really her you are chasing, but you are chasing this kind of energy. The energy of a woman that, you know, started to fight, or that fights, that made a choice at some point and said, I want a different life. And let's say you two meet and it's nice, and you realize, I don't know where she is going, but I'm going there. And I have the feeling I have no place for somebody who doesn't know her place yet. You know, let's say you feel like you have been awake for a while longer already. Maybe because, I don't know, maybe you've just been born that way. That's how I feel. I've been born that way, and I just waited until my time was right. And then I started to jump. I started to do things, and you know, my parents weren't awfully sure where I was going with these things, but I just said, you know, I'm gonna do it. And because I'm quite stubborn, and you know, I'm still here and I'm doing something, they just say, okay, you know, we're just gonna support you. You know, because for them, it's the first time being parents as well. I mean, they've been parents for some time, but not with a son like me, or not with any of their children. So you can only learn so much from a fellow parent. You can only learn so much from a fellow parent. So that's also your own parents, right? You can just look at what they did, and then you make your own choices. Okay, how did that make me feel? How did they treat me as a child? How did it make me feel? Well, sometimes I felt shit and left alone. Okay. You know, let's say your father died while you were at a young age. You know, I can say this, and 90% of the people don't give a shit, and 10% start crying. Oh yeah, that's what happened to me. My father died when I was young. You know, so why do I have to say it like this? Don't make it a sob story. It's a gift. I mean, you know, having a father around, or a mother, or parents, is just as challenging as not having them. Because if you're being born and you've got parents and, you know, they take care of all your needs, you become weak. You become a pussy, a princess, a prince. But we don't need whiny princes and princesses. You know, we need warriors, strong people with pure hearts, that if questioned, they always choose love before money. They always choose the direction of their hearts, where they say, no more of this. You know, corrupting nature, destroying nature, wreaking havoc in other people's countries. You know, I think we have to just let people be now. And that also counts for yourself. You know, there's somebody. Yeah, I thought he was spraying, but it's just the dust. You kind of get paranoid, right? Everything starts to look toxic. You know, it's like the mushroom on the side of the road. Well, it's being drenched in, you know, industrial toxicity. Can I still eat that? Or is it gonna kill me? Well, it's obvious. You just have to see how, you know, these places look like from the industry, where, you know, the waste washes into some kind of river basin or whatever. I mean, people that get incredibly sick, and that's that movie, I think it's called something Brockovich, I think it's with Julia Roberts. She's some kind of reporter. Yeah, so, you know, I'm following traces of energy. I'm recording this. This is my path to becoming a yogi, but not a yogi like you would find it in a kind of like perfect book where it says you cannot do this. No, because yoga is also, I believe, something very specific. You know, not every method works for everyone. You know, just like when I started to pick up rapé, you know, I'm still craving for it. You know, I could do it, you know, 2 weeks in a row, you know, and then at one point I would just feel, you know, like, okay, I just went through my supplies, and then I would stop. And then I realized, all right, maybe it's time to let go of it for some time again. You know, there were times where I would do it for, yeah, certainly a couple of weeks. But rapé is heavy and it's hard to maintain because it knocks you out. It's like, that's like instant orgasm. That's like the sudden death. That's what I want. That's what I want, right? I want to cut off the parts of myself. So I live my life and I gather insights about who I am and what I'm dealing with. So let's say I'm dealing with, you know, while I was writing the Book of Fear, I was putting in a lot of critical speech, also about the government and society and just things that were happening at the time. And I was really afraid to release it. And then I was sitting there and I had some rapé at the time and I was writing and I felt like there was some kind of barrier. And I felt like I couldn't lift it on my own. Sure, if I would have done breath work before doing this, I probably would have never hit that barrier. But I didn't do breath work because it felt like too heavy. And to me, it's hard to maintain. And I don't know. Maybe I'm too lazy. I don't really like breath work. I think there will be a time where I will do it more, but to me, it's heavy. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. Breath work is really, really heavy. I mean, really heavy. I lost consciousness a couple of times and now I'm afraid. Like, I'm mortally afraid of it. You know, that's not, you know, I can do rapé. It's like, oh yeah. But breath work, that's kiss of death. I mean, to me, that's one of the toughest things. And I have my experiences, but I'm avoiding to go into that again. But I'm getting there, I think. You know, just little by little, I'm building up strength. I'm testing out who am I in this, let's just call it an incarnation. Who am I? That's the most important question. And it's going to drive you insane, my friend. Who am I? You know, I spend time with people. They pretend to be someone. They have a fat stomach and they smoke cigarettes. And yet they lecture me about addiction and, you know, let's say cannabis. Yeah, but if you're addicted and you really need it, and then they leave me with this feeling of, oh, I'm a piece of shit. And next time I meet them, I see how they smoke cigarettes and I'm like, you know, I get back to that place and I say, yeah, I really listened to what you said about the HHC and stuff. And I took a break for some time. He said, oh yeah, did you reflect on that? And then I said, yeah. He was sitting there smoking a cigarette and I said, listen, I said, yeah. But then I thought, you know, who told this to me? The guy who's sitting here smoking cigarettes. I mean, what good is a lecture from someone who's still smoking himself about not smoking? And then he was trying to look for a way out. And the only thing he could come up with, I like the taste, you know? It's like, Jesus, man, I just mirrored you your own bullshit. And you just try to sprinkle it with more bullshit. I mean, what the fuck? This is what we're dealing with. You go to someone who clearly acts out of fear and you tell them that they're afraid and they say, but I'm not afraid. Yeah, okay, maybe now not, but you were when you made this choice. Yes. Well, the yes you will never get, because, you know, this brings me back to what kind of bullshit are you telling yourself? You know, if you're fat, you're fat. If you're obese, you're obese. Then you either accept it and say, okay, wait, do I like being obese? Or would I like to change it? You know, do I like the me that's watching porn? And who am I imitating? Or could I also be someone else, right? I mean, I'm listening a lot to, you know, Terence McKenna. I've listened a lot to Ram Dass, and I'm listening a lot to Chris Webby at the moment. And I'm not just listening to it because I think they're so great. You know, you always have to have a wary eye, because they're not telling you everything, right? I mean, nobody's gonna whine if they're really in public. Nobody loves their life for 100%. I mean, you can love hating it, but to say that you always feel good, well, very few people. Certainly nobody that works in Hollywood, certainly nobody that I know always feels good. They may want to appear like they have it all together, but the people that I meet, they're about to crack. Like, everybody thinks they're going nuts. They don't know what to believe anymore. You know, left, right, right? Is it, you know, is it true? I mean, that's just a question you should be allowed to ask. You know, is it true what I hear in the news about the world, about everything? Is it true? Or is it just a part of what's really going on? And I have to look for the middle, you know, because if, you know, let's say the country I'm living in is desperately trying to make a neighboring country look like the enemy, then what is the neighboring country saying about the country that I'm living in? Or the idea of the country, because the country itself doesn't really exist. Wow, sour. Good. You know, I can just drink lemons and enjoy it. I'll drink lemon juice. Nice. Wow. You don't get these apples in the store. Just don't get it. Maybe sometimes in certain areas. It is strange though. It has rained a lot. It rained and rained and rained. And now everything is drying out again. No, I don't quite get it. But it should be much moister in this region. It should be much, much moister in this region. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the day before somebody says, "You cannot film here," and then I say, "I think I can." But how much do you want to fight it? That's a good question. And some people, they're so afraid of being intoxicated. You know, they won't eat the berries at the side of the road. Not even in the forest. Because they think they're gonna catch some kind of worm. Well, probably, possibly, you may. Right? That's how I want to live. In a small, small village. No, actually not. I want to live somewhere else. And for a while I really told myself, I found my wife and I'm working hard to get back to her. I really told myself that this is the truth. I'm all doing it for the love of this woman. And we're gonna be back together. It's gonna be so nice, And the further you keep walking, you realize, wait, was that real? I mean, what was that all about? Was that the truth? Or was it just bullshit? It makes no sense.
Hello.
Ta-da! Yeah. I'm certainly an oddity because I'm filming myself. Some people, they just want to see. They just want to look at you, give you a smile, and then you sleep with them, and then they just chuck you away. Well, I hope you will suffer for that. I really hope. The last woman that did that with me, she got a lot of like I haunted her for quite some time. That sounds really bad. I didn't really do anything. Because to me, having sex is something, it's something important. I don't just fuck around. I slept with you because, I thought this was it. I shouldn't have slept with you. And that's a fact. I shouldn't have slept with you. I thought, I spent a couple of weeks with you, a couple of months, and I thought I had you. And I think the reason I slept with you, because I was afraid to lose you. But I already lost you. Because you didn't want me to be your husband. You just wanted me to bring me to that place where you could then meet someone else, and that's a fact. And that's so crazy because I know it. And then again I get to this place where I say, but how do I know it? Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I dropped her there. We slept with each other and she thought, oh, my dream has finally come true, and suddenly I leave because I say, that's not it. That's not it. And then I think it's it, but I still don't know it because there are so many other birds flying around. And, that's just the moping self. You have to deal with this. I mean, yeah, I'm a love-drunken idiot. In myself, I'm like, oh, I'm so in love. But I don't really connect well with people for a long time. I just want to be alone. So how could I be in a relationship with a woman and a child if I'm the crazy loner? So maybe I just shouldn't be, and maybe I never will be. And that's what's driving me insane. Trying to figure this out. Who's the woman I'm looking for? Have I already met her? Does it make sense to think about it? Maybe I'm just gonna be alone for the rest of my life. You see how I'm circling around this shit? I'm circling around, trying to pick up the trail that I haven't seen yet, that allows me to break out of this existence where I go, looking for scraps, fighting my way through, creating content like a madman. I still want to create content, but I want to feel like free. I want to be liberated in a way also from this place. I love it here. I really love it here. But I also would like to move on. And then the question is, well, maybe you should just start hiking longer distances. But then you think of your parents and how worried they are. I can't leave them behind. Well, maybe you should. And just don't tell them. Just tell them I'm going to be unavailable for a couple of days. So if you don't hear from me, don't freak out. And maybe that's what you should just do, right? And then just keep walking. I mean, there's apples everywhere. I mean, this is the time now where you've got fruits on trees. This is like September, right? This is the time now where you've got fruits on trees. So, I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of work. I mean, this is the end of January. I mean, you have to get that in your head. The end of January. I mean, I can continue with this job until I'm 100 years old. I mean, if YouTube still exists by then, and if they have the capacity, I mean, I'm gonna have 1 million videos. Yeah, that's a bit overkill. If I extrapolate, if I would continue, let's just say for another 70 years, and I can maintain 365 videos per year, let's just average it, and skip the 1 year extra, whatever. So 70 times 365, okay, 7 times 300, I don't know. 7 times 3 is 21. Now I've got 70 times 300. So I would say it's 21,000, more than 21,000 videos. Doesn't sound like an awful lot to me. Well, if I reach that number, I'm dead. But that's a goal. Instead of having goals like wife and children, that's too, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. But at the same time, I just have to find something that I can keep doing. And I can keep doing this. But then the question remains, will YouTube continue to exist? 70 years, it's a long time. Will Instagram continue to exist? Will the world as we know it today still exist? I don't know. Maybe the whole system is gonna break down in 3 weeks' time. What's 3 weeks? It's an eternity of this. And then it's gonna be an eternity of, what to do next. Well, let's say electricity just gone from one day to the next. For whatever reason, it's just gone. Or, I don't know, just whatever, world wars, weird restrictions, revolutions. I mean, these things surely can happen at any point in time. Just like a complete breakdown. It's just all collapsing. We can't produce the food anymore. Nature doesn't play nice anymore. It's all dried out. We can't find more places. It's possible. Well, and then what would humanity do? The way they are now? They would completely freak out, my friend. They would just shit their pants. They would go nuts. They would go crazy. My vision is clearer now again. That's something that you get from walking into nature and clearing your energy field. they would go nuts. Most of them would just die because they're too heavy. I mean, you have to know how to lift yourself. I mean, once you're out of the house, you just have to keep going. But most people you would meet just dying. Believe me, let's say from one day to the next we'd have a food shortage. There would just be no food supplies anymore. And people would, let's say, you would know, okay, for some reason, let's say Germany's been cut off from the outside world and we have a food shortage. People would break into supermarkets. They would get all the food they have. You know, that would be like anarchy. You know, people would just go nuts. They would go insane. They would go mad even. And then, what then? Well, then you would have these preppers. But if somebody knew, yeah, now you have to understand how this shit works. Let's say you're a prepper and you told someone that you're a prepper. You know, if it's a matter of life and death, they'll know where to go knocking on your door. So if you're a prepper and you prepare yourself, you have to be a bit paranoid about this. Because if you are preparing for something like this, then you can't tell anyone. If you have a secret bunker with all kinds of food supplies, this has to be your secret. Well, what do you do if you've already told people? Well, people talk. If you tell people you're a prepper and that you have a 100-liter backpack full with food supplies and you're just gonna, or you have a bunker, they're gonna talk. Because there's nothing happening in their lives, so they're gonna talk about yours. At least you've got something, you know, what a fucking weirdo. Oh, he really thinks that's gonna happen? Well, if it's gonna happen, they'll know where to knock. Oh wait, he has it. Yeah, but that's enough for one guy to survive. Not for a whole street. And people are really stupid. So you have to be smart. I'm not a prepper. At least not yet, right? But I'm trying to. I'm preparing myself for something. Fuck it. I don't know why I'm fighting here. I could fight anywhere. I could fight anywhere. I could be alone in the forest. You know, just going hiking could be my fight. Why do I come here? Why does a voice inside me say time to fight? I don't know. Because that's part of my dream. I love climbing. I asked them for a job and they declined. Well, how much more can I struggle about doing this? Even though tomorrow is uncertain. It's always uncertain. I don't know if I will wake up tomorrow. You know, sometimes I feel like my heart is gonna burst. Well, so I go for a hike instead of staying inside. That's the problem. If you stay inside for too long, you're just gonna die at one point. And now I'm here, and now I see people already climbing, and it's a nice slogan that it says on there. It says, never stop climbing. You know, and that speaks right to my heart. Just continue. I mean, at least you can do once, you know, you can go once a month. At least you can go once a month. You know, you cannot go every week or twice a month, no. But, you know, at least once a month you can manage. And Right, if my website breaks down, then it's gonna break down. I can't help it. But I'm here now. Weird. Still hoping for tomorrow. Always, always be hopeful. Look into the horizon and say, all right.